Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandanami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yogina Yasyantanna Vidussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Let us recite the first verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam Karmajyayo Hyakarmanah Sharirayatra Pichate Na Prasiddhyena Karmanah. Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. Tvam means you. Here Arjuna, you, so this is specifically for you, Arjuna. And you say, what does Arjuna represent? Represents a regular human being. Arjuna has shown that the person is grieving, who is sad. It is a sadness or grief that drained him of all his motivation. He was all set to perform his duty, to fight this battle. But when, for whatever reason, sadness came to him, grief came to him, he found himself incapable of facing the situation. Not because he was not skilled to fight the battle, Not because he was afraid to fight the battle, understand? Because then the teaching would have been of a different nature. But because he found himself devoid of all the motivation, all the enthusiasm, at the same time, he found also his mind justifying inaction, in fact, not responding to situation. So this is what sadness does. That we find ourselves incapable, unwilling to do what is right, and our mind justifies what is not right in a given situation. Now Lord Krishna says in the Gita that doing what is right is very important for one's own happiness, one's own growth and happiness. And that is the reason why Lord Krishna begins his verse by saying, Niyatam kuru karma tvam. Tvam means you, hey Arjuna, who is grieving, who is sad, who has lost all motivation. For you, the way to become free from grief or sadness. So Bhagavad Gita teaches this way of becoming free from depression, of all our mental ailments. Sadness or grief represents all the emotional ailments that you suffer from, which culminates into depression. So what is Bhagavad Gita's prescription for becoming free from inner sadness or suffering? Says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam. In a given situation, do what is right for you to do. Says, if you notice here, they don't pronounce tvam, you. You who is grieving. You who has lost all motivations. You. For becoming free from this grief, frustration, disappointment, whatever we have, right action is prescribed as a means of becoming free from all our emotional ailments. And the right action will be further specified. But since Arjuna has lost the motivation of doing what is right and is ready to do what is wrong for him, meaning withdraw from this battle, which does not behoove of him, who is, in this particular case, a Kshatriya, warrior, whose duty it is to protect the dharma. For a person like that, because the whole society depends upon him, if he does not act right now, if then Kauravas win this battle without shooting a single arrow, then adharma will prevail. And adharma is non-righteousness. When people are not righteous, people do not do what they should do, then that loses the basis of how to interact with each other. There must be a basis of interacting with each other. I can trust you what you are doing and you can trust me. That I am honest in what I am saying. You don't have to second guess what I am saying. That there is basic honesty, sincerity, trust. So these are the things, these are the values that are required for us to interact with each other. When trust is not there, honesty is not there, sincerity is not there, I always will second guess what you say one thing and mean something else, then it is very difficult for the people to relate to each other. In which case there cannot be a proper understanding, there cannot be an affection for each other, and thus there will be nothing but disorder in the society. So dharma or righteousness right intentions, right values of honesty, trust, hard working, all of these are important for a society to function in a harmonious manner. As Lord Krishna says, that brings about the progress of the individual as well as of the whole society. Whereas adharma, unrighteousness, will bring about a downfall of the individual as well as the downfall of the society. So Arjuna is not fighting battle for a personal cause here. He represents the one who is required to respond to the situation for the well-being of the whole society. So when you make a decision, you should also take into account who are all who are affected by our decision. We are interconnected. We are not alone. And therefore, the decision that I make or what I do affects many others. There is man who comes home and says, I have resigned my job. So why? I don't agree with my boss. You resign the job. What happens to your family? I mean, his decision affects so many people. Similarly, Arjuna's withdrawal from battle, if it meant only an individual act, it's a different thing. It affects the whole society. And therefore, doing what is right, Lord Krishna says, Niyatam Kuru Karmat. Everybody has been appointed to do something. Yesterday we pointed out how all the elements of nature perform what their assigned duties are without fail. Whether it is earth or water or fire or air, space, sun, moon, all of these function in a harmonious, predictable way. In dharma, righteousness, there is predictability. I can predict how we will respond. So we can predict when the sun will rise, how the earth will rotate, when the water will boil. Nature is all predictable, and therefore we have what we call the laws of cause and effect, and that's what makes science possible and our life possible. So the whole universe follows dharma, and that is predictable because it's a set script. And I know your script and you know my script, we know each other's script. Then I know how you will respond, how you know how I will respond, and that creates a harmony between us. In dharma, there is no such thing. So Arjuna, you are also appointed to do something in a situation you find, and the right response is what you are meant for. So Arjuna may make a technical argument. But, O Lord, it is well known that karma binds, action binds. Karmana badhyate jantuhu, there is a statement in Mahabharata which says that an individual is bound by karma. What is meant is this, that whenever we perform an action, there is going to be an outcome of the action, it's called a result or karma phala. That follows the law of cause and effect. Karma is the cause and karma phala is the effect. Effect is in keeping with the cause. That's the general rule. Second rule is that whoever performs the karma is accountable for experiencing the results of the karma. So law of karma says everyone is accountable for what they do. If you do good, the result is good. If you do bad, the result is bad. As you sow, so you reap. Simple thing. Now what happens is, when I perform an action, there is always an expectation of what the outcome should be. In my mind, usually, there is an expectation of what the outcome should be. After performing the action, if the outcome is in keeping with or better than my expectation, I call it success, I feel very happy. If the outcome is less than my expectation or opposite to my expectation, I call it failure, I feel unhappy. So, as a result of karma, I get karma phala, the result of the action. And usually I react to that karma phala with either happiness or unhappiness, harsha or shoka. Harsha, elation, shoka, depression. These are my usual responses to the outcome. In fact, they are our usual responses to every situation. Because every situation that I confront moment to moment is nothing but the result of some action that I must have performed in the past. That's what we believe. That nothing happens without a reason. And whatever is right now must have a reason in the past. The cause always precedes the effect. The cause is in the past, the effect is in the present. So whatever I come across and encounter must have a cause. What's that cause? Some or the other karma that I must have performed. Meaning that we can say that whatever I encounter at present is karma phala. Is the result of one or the other action. And you will respond. If the situation is what I call favorable, I respond with happiness. Situation unfavorable, I respond with unhappiness. So this is, Lord, when I perform the action, the result will come today or tomorrow. And I will have to, I am accountable for the result. And I react with joy and sorrow, happiness and unhappiness, elation and depression. So what happens? Swami, but success is good. Success is good, all right. What happens with me is that when the outcome is successful, I'm happy, all right. But something happens in my mind. You know what happens? That my mind wants more of it. My mind wants success to continue, happiness to continue, and I want more of it. So when we were in school, if you scored 75% marks, you were successful. But next year the expectation was to get 80%. It was only 75%, but that you already did. But 80%, expectation is 85%. Is it not so? Every business, unless the chart is going up, if it's the same kind of outcome, the same percentage, then they're not happy. You must always grow. Meaning that human mind always wants, if it gets success, it wants more success. Meaning that for the same quantum of happiness now, I should have more success than what I had before. I never expected to pass. I got 50%, I was delighted. But then became a common thing. Then 50% doesn't excite me anymore. Then I need something more for excitement. What happiness comes from excitement. And excitement requires more input, You have to take this, you have to think about this. How success also becomes binding in as much as success automatically impels me to desire more success, or for the same level of happiness, I need a greater success than what I have today. But that's the nature of our mind. It is never satisfied with what it gets. If it is $1 million, when I had nothing, then $1,000 was a lot of money. $1,000, then $10,000 was a lot of money. $10,000, $100,000 was a lot of money. 100,000, $1 million is a lot of money. Until I become a millionaire. Then I look at, my class changes. Then I start comparing myself with different kinds of people. We don't always compare ourselves with the same people. As our class rises, we compare ourselves with the same class of people. There's so many millionaires are there. What's the big deal? You want to be multi-millionaire. Then, so many multi-millionaires are there. So, any kind of a result you get soon creates in you a sense of inadequacy, and for the same quantum of happiness or feeling good, I need more of it. You follow? Meaning that we cannot remain quiet, calm, composed even with success, because success also prompts me to get more, do more, chase more. So there also I am driven. Something drives me to get more and more. Something compels me to get more and more. This is called bondage. When I am compelled, that is called bondage. When I have freedom to do or not to do, that is called freedom. That is called free will. The freedom to do it or not do it. But very often, or most often, we do not enjoy that freedom because there is something that prompts me, compels me to do. The inner compulsion is called bondage. And human being suffers from the inner compulsion. You get this much, you need more. You get, because law of diminishing return. Same thing now does not give me the same quantum of satisfaction, I need more. When I eat the first slice of pizza, it's great joy. Second slice of pizza doesn't give you that much joy. Third slice of pizza, even less. And if the host is very kind, Swami, even more slice. And fifth slice, all 5 slices come out. Thus we know how this is called diminishing return, how every subsequent gain has less and less capacity to give me satisfaction. This is how the life is. And we are all that driven. And this is called bondage when I am driven. Once I am compelled to, I have no freedom. Meaning I cannot enjoy a quiet tranquility of the mind or composure of the mind when there is inner compulsion to get more, to prove more. And we think that we are trying to prove to others. Understand that all the time we have to prove to ourselves. Although usually we are seeking approval from others. If my boss says you did a good job, I feel happy. But basically understand that we need our own approval. Meaning that I should approve of myself. I should feel that I am alright. Unfortunately, my need to approve myself also keeps on growing when formerly I thought I was alright with $100,000. Now I say I'm not alright. I would be alright only if I get $1 million. So success also is binding. Failure makes me unhappy right away. But success also creates the ground of unhappiness. We should understand this. So both success and failure are bondage. You understand? What is bondage? Bondage is when I am compelled to do something. When I am impelled to do something, when I do not have freedom not to do it. I need not do it. Or I may do it, then you are free. But I have to do it. No, if I can't, Swami, then I will lose this, I will not get this. And so, that have to do it is called bondage. So, karmana badyate jantu, what happens is that it drives me to get more, and drives me to get more, and drives me to get more, and thus every karma phala, every outcome becomes a seed of a desire to get more, which becomes a cause for doing another action. The another action brings about another result. To to which again I respond with happiness or unhappiness, which becomes seed for yet another action. You see, this is how the chain of action, reaction, we are bound by that, meaning that we do not enjoy the freedom of mind. All the time concerned about something or the other. We are hardly living in the present, always concerned about what the future will bring. Or either I am disappointed or wondering about the failures of the past, or how to get the future, success in the future. This is how the mind always functions. This is the life of a common human being. And he is addressed here. So Arjuna may ask, Swami, Lord Krishna, you are asking to perform action? Kuru karma, you perform your action. But action binds. Action creates reaction. The reaction becomes the cause of further action, which again causes reaction, cause of further action. And what happens is that whenever we perform action, we are accountable for experiencing the results. In case we cannot settle that account in this lifespan, then we will be born again to experience the result of what I did. So where is the proof? Where is the proof that I will be born again? Anyway, the thing is that Lord Krishna says that when we depart from this body with a sense of dissatisfaction, with a sense of desire, with a sense of my agenda are not complete, we are going to be born again to fulfill that agenda, because we are born with an agenda. And for a human being, until the agenda is complete, there is not going to be a respite. We will keep on being born. I don't mind, Swami, that's all right. Unfortunately, birth means all kinds of stuff associated with it. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, birth is there, body is there, then old age is there, disease is there, death is there. Not only that, all kinds of mental suffering is there. Human being's life is usually more full of suffering. Dukkham, 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 sukham, dukkham, 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 sukham. That's how the human life is. So, the Lord, when I perform action, I am creating for myself a series of dukkham. And you are asking me to perform action. So how do I get happiness? So when Lord Krishna asks Arjuna to maybe perform the action, his actions becomes usually a series of only producing, a cause of producing series of dukkha, of unhappiness. And it will be helpful if you look at your own life. We can look at our own life and how our life has been. Is it a series of satisfaction arising from what I have done, or rather a series of dissatisfaction, always requiring something more, always needing something more, not quite adequate, happy with what there is? So, this is called bondage. So, karmana baddhyate jantuhu. Arjuna may argue before Lord Krishna that a karma or action binds. Then what do we do? How to perform karma so that it does not bind? How to perform karma? Bind means produces dukkha. That's called bondage. Compulsion and dukkha. How to perform karma so that it does not produce compulsion, it does not produce helplessness, it does not produce dukkha. It produces sukha. How to do that? So that's what Lord Krishna says in the second verse. Let us read that. In the first page only. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसंगः समाचर. So how to perform actions, how to perform our duties, how to live our life basically. The way basically human being is living life is that he or she is producing more a series of dukkha or unhappiness than happiness. So Lord Krishna teaches how to live the life, how to conduct ourselves so that we produce for ourselves a series of happiness, which is what we want. And when Lord Krishna teaches Karma Yoga, this is the teaching of Karma Yoga. Here Lord Krishna does not mention what kind of action to perform. What Lord Krishna teaches is the attitude with an action should be performed. Not what action we perform, but the attitude with which we perform the action. What action we perform is determined by the situation. Because in every situation I am required to respond in an appropriate manner. In every situation I have to perform a certain role. Person may be a father, maybe a son, a brother, husband, boss, subordinate. In any situation, there is always a role to be performed. From morning till evening, we keep on performing one role after the other. So what is to be done is already decided for us. Meaning, a situation decides what we should do, what is the right way of responding, how to play our role. Then the question is how to do that. What's the attitude whenever we do our actions or duties in different situations? So Lord Krishna says in this verse, Yajnarthat karmana anyatra. Here Arjuna, whenever a person performs an action with an attitude other than the attitude of yajna. So Lord can use the word yajna. Before this verse in the Gita, this word yajna has not been used. Lord Krishna is the word yajna here. Yesterday we said, yajna is the Vedic ritual, a traditionally fire ritual, which is the form of worship. Worship of pleasing the devatas, making offering to devatas. And if you observe this yajna, different offerings are made to different devatas. When you perform a yajna for Rudra, Lord Shiva, then offering is of one kind. For Chandi, Devi, the offering is of different kind. For Vishnu Yaga, the offerings are of different kind, etc. So this is called yajna traditionally. So yesterday we discussed how Lord Krishna gives a very broad meaning to the word yajna. Whereas formerly the word yajna was confined to a particular kind of action which involved a fire ritual and making offering into fire. Lord Krishna uses the word in a much broader sense. In the sense of performing any action which involves the attitude of offering. So most important element in a yajna, even how the yajna is defined, is in Sanskrit devatodeshena dravyatyaga. Dravyatyaga, offering a material. Devatodeshena keeping in mind a devata or a deity, meaning making offering keeping in mind Ishvara. So in that yajna, material is offered. But the important thing is the spirit of offering. So Lord Krishna takes the spirit of offering as the primary element of that yajna. Other things are all structural elements, that there is an altar where bricks are laid and fire is kindled. But in all of that, the most important element is the attitude of offering. Dravya tyagaha, offering dravya or material, that involves a tangible material. But tyaga, the spirit of tyaga or offering or renunciation or sacrifice is called yajna. In fact, the word yajna also is explained differently by Shankaracharya, who says yajna vai Vishnu. This statement in the Vedas which says yajna is the name of Vishnu. So yajna means Vishnu. And Vishnu need not mean a particular devata. Vishnu is all pervasive Lord. So yajna is the name of Ishvara. Therefore, yajnarthat. Artha means for the purpose of. So action performed for the purpose of Vishnu, for the purpose of Lord, as an offering to the Lord, as an offering to Ishvara will be called yajna. Meaning any action performed with the attitude of offering to Ishvara. Who is Ishvara, Swami? How do you offer to Ishvara? See, when that fire altar was there, you know where to offer. You make an offering into the fire. And you know that that goes to Devata. That's the belief anyway. When you make an offering into fire, you find, Swami, that turns into ashes. Where is the, which Devata? But when the Devatas are invoked by chanting a mantra, and that Devata is there in the fire, or the god of fire takes that ahuti or oblation to the particular Devata. Anyway, so in short, it is offering to Devata or manifestation of God. But Swamiji, so that is a tangible place when you can make an offering. When you perform your action, when you are working in the office, you are doing accounting work, computer work, you are working in a farm, you are in a place of business, you are selling something, marketing, all kinds of things. Where is Ishvara? How do you offer your karma to Ishvara? So in the 18th chapter, Lord Krishna gives a very beautiful definition of Ishvara. Who is Ishvara? Who is God? Each one of us has some idea of God, which is fine. But what is the vision of God or Ishvara that Bhagavad Gita provides? The 18th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvedam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Swakarmana tam abhyarcha. Abhyarcha, adoring Him, worshipping Him, propitiating Him, pleasing Him, satisfying Him, making Him happy. Swakarmana, by one's own karma, by one's own duty. Ishvara, which Ishvara? Yatah pravrittir bhutanam, the one that impels all the activities, and one who is in the hearts of all living, who is all pervasive, who is the server of all the beings, and one who impels all the activities is Ishvara. A very broad explanation of Ishvara is given. The one from whom the whole universe emerges, and one who may sustain the entire universe. One who is the very motive power behind all the activities. That the sun shines, the wind blows, the water flows, the clouds rain, the fire burns, Right now my organ of speech is speaking, your organ of hearing is hearing. Wherever any activity is going on, that which is impeller of every activity, that consciousness is called Ishvara, which is all pervasive, which is self of all. Meaning that, by that definition, the whole universe is nothing but the manifestation of Ishvara, is all pervasive endeavor. Whoever is there in front of you is manifestation of Ishvara. Meaning that we don't have to go someplace to please Ishvara. Nowadays, of course, we have the temples. So you can go and make offering there to Venkateshwara, Ganesha, etc. That's fine. That's a particular expression of Ishvara. But Swamiji, that is when I go to temple. But when I am at home, when I am in a place of work, how do I do that? So Lord Krishna says that whoever it is that you interact with, Ishvara is seated in the heart of that being. That's why it's called Narayana, it's called Vasudeva. Although Narayana and Vasudeva then came to be well known as particular Devata, where Vasudeva means Lord Krishna. But if we see the meaning of word Vasudeva in a derivative way, then Vas means to dwell. One who dwells, Deva, the self-effulgent conscious one that dwells in the hearts of all is called Vasudeva, the self of all. You mean my boss is Vasudeva? This neighbor is Vasudeva? My spouse is Vasudeva? Because we have history with everybody. We have had history with all the people. And all kinds of raga dveshas are developed in our mind. And therefore, it is very difficult, Swamiji, to see Vasudeva or Narayana. Narayana also means the same thing. Who resides in the hearts of all. Tvam abhyar swakarmana, tvam abhyartam abhyarcha. Pleasing the Lord, who is the self of all, who is the motivator of all the activities, who is the impeller of all the activities. Pleasing with your action. So pleasing your boss, who is Vasudeva. Pleasing your subordinate, Vasudeva. Pleasing your servant is also Vasudeva. Pleasing your spouse, of course, is Vasudeva. Pleasing Swamiji, if I keep on pleasing people, then what will happen to me? They all take advantage of me. When they find out that this fellow is here to please me, then they will all exploit me, take advantage of me. They will walk all over me, Swamiji. I'll be treated as a doormat. I'm already treated anyway. People generally complain that we are treated as, and they're walking all over me, we are treated as doormats, Swami, because we keep on hearing your talks, and you say you should be kind, and then we are trying to be kind. That's what happens to us. So kind does not mean, kindness is not the name of an action. Kindness is the attitude that you have. Theoretically, you can slap a person with kindness, theoretically. Because kindness is wishing well of the other person. Wish well of the other person. Keep that in your mind, by the way. You don't have to make it public. You don't have to make it known, but in your mind you have that attitude. Wishing well. May God bless him. But Swami is an angry fellow, he is a cantankerous, he is all the time, he is misbehaving with me. How can I wish him well? So this is what Lord Krishna says, even in trying to do that, I have to subdue my impulse. When I see that person, then something happens to me. What happens? My anger, my resentment all comes out of me. For me to even wish well of that person also requires me to subdue that impulse, number one. Unless I subdue my impulse of anger or resentment, it is not no way that I can even think of wishing well of that person. What will that do? How will it help? It will stop that chain. Because when I react with resentment, I get back the resentment, then I again react with resentment, I get back the resentment. That whole chain goes on into just creating misery and nothing else. On the other hand, if we respond in our mind with kindness, that chain stops there. Otherwise, resentment only breeds resentment. In Mahabharata, I may have mentioned in the past, there is this whole series of events where there are these two friends, Drupada and Drona, were young. Drona is a Brahmana boy, Drupada is a Kshatriya boy. And Drona is very poor, son of a very poor Brahmana, and Drupada is his prince, very wealthy, son of a king. So both of them are studying in the same Gurukulam, and Drona naturally was a very bright student and Drupada was not very bright, and so Drona would always help him. That's how he passed his examination, he cleared everything, and so he was very grateful to Drona. Two friends, very grateful. So while they were separating and they completed the study, then Drupada promised Drona, when I become king, I'll give you half my kingdom. So friends promised each other. Both of them forgot that anyway, meaning that they separated and Drona was leading a life of a very poor Brahmin. In course of time, Drupada became the king also. And this Drona was so poor that, in fact, his wife Krupi did not even have milk to give to their son Ashwatthama. And she would milk this flour, wheat flour, into water and make it like a liquid and think that he thought that this is milk. When he came across a real milk somewhere, then he felt, my mom, you're cheating me. I want real milk. And so he went to her husband and said, what am I going to do? He says, well, what can we do? But you are telling me that Drupada is your friend. Why don't you go and ask? No, I won't go. Brahmins are pretty proud that, no, I won't go and ask anybody. But his wife anyway somehow prevailed upon him. Because she was so unhappy and so sad seeing at her, looking at her son. So then Drona is compelled to go to Drupada and presents himself at the court of Drupada. And amazingly, Drupada does not even recognize him. When Drona introduces him, he says, oh, Drona. So Drupada had forgotten everything. And therefore, this Drona was not respected at all. He felt insulted, came back. But this insult was there in the mind. The Brahmins are pretty proud people, and so they don't forget things. Okay, I'll wait for the time. And the time came and Pandavas and Kauravas graduated and they asked for Guru Dakshina. And Dronacharya says to Arjuna, you go and bring Drupada here, defeat him and bring him here. And that's what Arjuna did. And brought him at the feet of Dronacharya. So Drona is very happy. See that? This is what you did to me. Alright, I let you go. I give you half the kingdom. Get lost. So Drupada is going to forget? No, because I'm going to take revenge. So he performs a yaga and then Drishtadyumna is born to kill Drupada, Dronacharya. And then he kills the Dronacharya in the battlefield also in an unfair manner. And then his son says, I'm going to take revenge. This is what goes on. So somewhere this chain has to be snapped. Thank God that Draupadi snapped that chain by saying that I don't want to kill Ashwatthama. He also has a mother, like how I feel about my sons. So I don't want to give pain to his mother. Was released. So if we keep on reacting, that's why we are taught Yajna. Yajna is the attitude of offering myself for the well-being for the happiness or the well-being of the other person. Meaning, act out of kindness. Act out of a spirit of offering, making that. It's not easy. I'm not suggesting you start plunging into that right away. You test how it works. It is, we can think, is it possible for me to maintain the attitude to make this fellow, may God make, at least in your mind you can bless him. May God bless him. I can't do that, Swami. Try that. May God bless him. May he be happy. Just make your attitude. That doesn't mean that you are a helpless creature, not that you become a slave, not yet become it's not a sign of weakness. We think that being kind is sign of weakness. Swami, people will think that I am a weak person, therefore they will take advantage. Kindness is not a sign of weakness, sign of strength. Being a contributor means being a kind person. How can I bring that kindness to bear into my day-to-day activities? All the time reminding myself, a mind, be kind. No, this fellow has done this to me, I'm going to be kind. Usually raga dveshas are invoked in every situation. Either a person invokes from me dvesha or resentment or anger, or somebody else invokes from me attachment and partiality. This is what usually determines how we interact with other people as prompted by raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion. When there is attachment, there is partiality to one and cruelty to other. When there is aversion, there is cruelty to this for partiality to something else. Meaning that my actions are usually performed with the attitude of either partiality or cruelty. But who do I hurt by that? If I encourage that attitude of being partial or cruel, of justifying my resentment, justifying my retaliation, justifying my anger, justifying this kind of tendencies in me, they will only grow because all those tendencies are like fire, and more I try to satisfy them, it is more like it is pouring butter into fire. Meaning that by expressing resentment, resentment will not go. By expressing anger, anger will not go. By expressing any of these negative feelings, they will not go, they will become stronger. Let him become stronger, Swami. But who suffers? The anger makes me suffer. Resentment makes me suffer. All of these negative trends make me suffer. That is what causes dukkham. The boss doesn't cause dukkha. But boss become instrument in creating in me anger and resentment. They cause me dukkha. So yesterday we said that we believe that the cause of our dukkha or happiness, grief or sadness lies outside. But no, cause of our sadness is our own mind. Which mind? An angry mind, a resentful mind, a retaliating mind. If one is partial to one, cruel to other one, this mind in fact is the cause of all my unhappiness. You must have heard this verse, Maneva Manushyanam Karanam Bandha Mokshayoho. A famous verse says that it is mind which is the cause of bondage and mind which is the cause of liberation. If you understand this, nobody makes me unhappy, it is my mind. But then how about this person? That person becomes only instrument in pushing some button, that's all. It is true that my boss has an uncanny knack of pushing the button and invoke from me the resentment and anger. That is true. The Rasagulla has an uncanny knack of pushing and invoking my temptation. Everything seems to have a knack of pushing some button or the other. And either my temptation is invoked, my resentment is invoked, my anger is invoked, my greed is invoked, something or the other is invoked. It is that which makes me unhappy. I do not need anything more than that to become unhappy and miserable. So how do I make myself happy? By slowly and slowly subduing those tendencies. And how do I subdue them? By the opposite counter tendencies. And that counter opposite tendency I have to sustain deliberately. Meaning that I have to assert my kindness, then only that cruelty will go, otherwise it won't go. I have to assert my large-heartedness, or then only my tendency to retaliate will go, otherwise it won't go. And thus every action gives an opportunity to invoke from me the goodness which is inherently there. That goodness alone manifests as kindness, as help, as wishing well of somebody. That goodness is there, provided I give it an opportunity to manifest. So my goodness is willing to manifest, provided I give it an opportunity, which I don't. By all the time supporting and justifying my evilness, meaning the evil tendencies. So yajna means simple thing. Yajna means the desire to make Narayana happy. Narayana, who is in the form of the person or the entity before me. Let him or her be happy. Even that, reminding myself, even that also will do a lot of things. At least I won't make them, I won't hurt them. If I cannot help, at least I will not hurt them. Thus becoming free from our habitual tendency of hurting others. Even if we may not hurt with our action, in our attitude, with our mind, we generally hurt them. I remember myself, because when somebody is doing better than you, then you always want that fellow should fall sick. Because every time he appears in the test and he does better than me, he gets number 1 rank and I get number 2. What if he breaks his leg? That will be nice. He can't appear for the test. Some evil thoughts occur to me. So Yajna Arthat, Lord Krishna says that whenever you perform any action with a tendency other than Yajna, other than worship, other than pleasing the Lord, Karavandana, it becomes binding to you, meaning that it produces more and more unhappiness for you. So every moment we have an opportunity to create either happiness for ourselves or unhappiness for ourselves. Every moment. It's not that someday happiness will come. Yeah, when you perform an action, the result will come in future, may create happiness in future. But Lord Krishna says, don't wait for the future to create happiness. Let the present create happiness. You create happiness from the present. Something that is in your control. What is in your control? The karma or the action, the way I respond is in my control. And is in the present. The outcome is in future and not in my control. Unpredictable. And we say, if I get happiness from the outcome, it's a binding happiness because it creates only more desires. Whereas the happiness that comes from the karma, from the right attitude, is a freeing happiness. So even happiness is of two kinds. Binding happiness and freeing happiness. Happiness that comes from karma phala, from experiencing the outcome of a situation, from something other than myself. What is karma phala? What is outcome? Outcome is in terms of an event, which I call success or whatever, and that gives me happiness. Happiness that comes from something other than myself is a binding happiness. Whereas, this happiness that comes from the spirit of worship, of pleasing, comes from my own self. So finding happiness and freeing happiness. Lord Krishna describes these kinds of happiness in the Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Krishna says, that which comes, the happiness that comes by contact from something else, it is very sweet in the beginning, but then turns out to be bitter at the end. Because it makes me more and more addicted to that. I need more and more for the same quantum happiness as we just described. On the other hand, the happiness that comes from my own self, Atma Buddhi Prasadajam, when my mind is pleased, the happiness that comes when the mind is pleased, that is called sattvic happiness, that is the lasting happiness, that is the freeing happiness. And we can please. Is it possible for us to please our mind? We don't have to depend upon somebody else to make me happy. And nobody can make me happy, remember. I alone can make myself happy, and I can create the pleased mind just by this tendency. What? Yajna. Offer myself. What do I have to offer? My goodness. My goodness with the goodness that is inherently in me. The goodness and kindness that is inherent in me. So this is what Lord Krishna says as Karma Yoga. What is yoga? Yoga is this attitude. Our Swami would call it a contributor. Attitude of contributor means contributing to somebody's well-being, somebody's comfort, somebody's happiness. How do you do that? By being a good person, by being a kind and a generous and charitable person. It's not easy. We have not been very charitable usually, because usually we have always seen happiness and always success and there. But even in simple argument with my friends, I go to all the extent to win that argument, even though he is my friend, but still, where is my satisfaction? In winning the argument, in proving myself right. So we derive happiness by winning the argument, by proving ourselves right, by proving myself more well informed, by proving, you don't know, I know. So this is how we are accustomed to deriving satisfaction, which is a binding satisfaction. It's only in Vedantic words, it's only an appearance of happiness, not a real happiness. Then what do Swami? Let him win the argument. I can't allow that. Just try. Let somebody win the argument. Let somebody be right. I can't be wrong, Swami. I can't lose the argument. Who says that? My Ragadvesha say that. Whereas my goodness will be happy in seeing other person happy. So this is the whole attitude of Yajna. This is called worship. Worshipping Ishvara. By our action, not our action. Worship Ishvara by our right attitudes. Even the Lord Krishna says, worshipping Ishvara by our action. It's not so much action. It is the attitude behind the action. But then, action becomes an occasion to invoke that attitude. To invoke the attitude, we require an occasion, we require a setup. That I must interact with you to be a kind person. So that is called action. Action is an occasion for me to invoke that attitude from myself. Yajna arthat, the simple rule that Lord Krishna says. Our Swami used to say that Lord Krishna reveals some basic laws of life. What laws? The moral, the spiritual laws of life. The mechanical, physical laws we learn from science. And that helps us how to conduct ourselves, in our outer world, how to drive cars and that all requires physical laws. But we require the knowledge of other laws called soft knowledge, hard skill and soft skill. The hard skill is what we learn in our schools and colleges and training programs and, etc. The soft skill, this is Lord Krishna, this is soft skill of how to really become successful in life. So hard skill also be required. Meaning we should have the skill and ability to perform an action. That is not, just because you are kind, then you can be sloppy and inefficient. That's not the point. So all these yogis and bhaktas, they don't know. No, that's not so. Swami, that means if a kind person means what? You don't know what you are doing. No, not so. While describing bhakta, Lord Krishna says, Anapeksha, Shuchi, Laksha. In fact, this frame of mind makes you a more efficient person. In fact, this whole thing also has a contribution in terms of what we call effectiveness even in our day-to-day life. Because when the mind is not in the right place, when there is anger, resentment, conflict, reaction, I can't really be a totally effective person. On the other hand, when the mind is composed, it is in the present, then I can make the right assessment of the situation and make the right judgment. Because even as a manager, even as a person doing my things, I have to make decisions every moment. As a leader, you have to make decisions. As a manager, everybody is a manager, of your children, of something or other. We always manage constantly something or the other. In that, we have to always make decisions. And a decision requires me to properly assess the situation and then arrive at what is the best. For assessing situation, I require a mind which is an objective mind. And for making decision also a mind which is again a composed mind, then only things will be right. What Swami would call it objectivity, a composed mind, not which is under conflict, not which is dictated by some inner impulses, a mind which is free from impulses. So understand that this makes us even more efficient people as far as our day-to-day life is concerned. Don't think that a spiritual person, inefficient person, is good for nothing. We think, there are all these fellows that are good for nothing. That's what we may have seen, all these people doing kirtan, etc. They can't do anything else. That's not the point here. This is a spiritual thing. Lord Krishna is teaching spirituality. Where karta is one of the actions. It's not opposed, we are not opposed to any action. But we are talking about the mind and the growth of the mind, the emotional maturity of the mind, the spiritual maturity. Now these days they talk of the different kind of quotients. Formerly there was only an intellectual IQ, intellectual quotient. We have learned that the IQ is alone not enough. Okay, emotional quotient. That emotionally also you must be together as a person. Not split into a mind, because then you can't make a proper decision. You can't be effective. Then now there is spiritual quotient, SQ. IQ, EQ, SQ. As people are learning more and more, they realize the need of the subtler and subtler kind of growth required in the human mind. So Lord Krishna is teaching us EQ and SQ. IQ is taken for granted. That the world will teach us, how to do things, how to cook. That mother will teach you. Somebody will teach you. How to make chapati, that's all fine. But while making chapati, the teachers, the music teacher can teach you how to play your instrument. But your mind must be in the right place to play it. Is it not so? Beta, come on, do this, play your violin. Come on, Swamiji said, do that. And that fellow is saying, what do you mean, Swamiji said, what does it matter to me? You can see. So, when the mind is not in the right, you can't do it. You can't find your thing, basically. You say, oh, but this is missing and that is loose. No, I can't find ma. What is that thing you require, for playing your violin or playing your sitar or something? Can't find it. Meaning that you always require a mind in the right place. This is women are right and left. People are the left-handed people are mind in the right place. But anyway, you need a mind that's in the right place. Effectiveness in life, relationship also. Every moment you relate to people. The same thing comes. How do I relate? You said something to me yesterday, I'm going to make, I'm only looking for an opportunity. Even with the spouse, looking for an opportunity to settle the account. Or settling account. That fellow did this, I'm waiting for, like when we were school children, that's what, in the school, suppose somebody bullies me. I'm too weak, and that fellow is, but then I wait for an opportunity. Because he used to pass through my street for going to school. Then I collect 4 or 5 friends and then settle account with him, Then he settled account with me, and this is how it goes on. This is not life, just like dogs do this, They keep on settling account with one another. That's not life. Yajna, this is called bondage. That which produces unhappiness is bondage. And that which produces happiness is called liberation. It's for us to create freedom for us, happiness for us, or for us to create unhappiness for us. We are the creators of our own happiness, and we are the creators of our own unhappiness. It's nice to blame somebody. It's nice to blame. Swami, because of this person I'm unhappy. But I'm empowering that person to make me unhappy. I don't have to. Yajnathat karunonyatra lokoyam karmabandhana. If a person performs an action other than yajna, other than being a giver, other than being a contributor, other than being a kind and compassionate person, karmabandhana, that karma or that every action is a karma. Every moment we are doing karma. Even when I talk to you, when I relate, every moment I relate to somebody, is it not so? From morning till evening we relate to somebody or other. That's karma. It's all vyavahara. And every karma can become means of happiness or unhappiness, understand? Even talking to a neighbor, talking to anybody, that's all karma. You can make that an occasion of creating happiness or unhappiness or indifference. Mostly we may not create unhappiness, we just let it go. But you can create happiness. As I was reading this Dalai Lama's book written by one doctor, how Dalai Lama, the doctor says that we went to meet somebody who was on 10th floor or something, and we were waiting for the elevator. And then this maid came, Dalai Lama looked at this maid and smiled, and the maid was so happy. It's an exchange. So what do you need to make somebody happy? Just a desire to do that. And so, but Swamiji, you don't know, you can't make this person happy. I've tried the whole of my life. Maybe. I'm not saying that you can, but that's all. You can wait for it future. Take the easy cases to begin with. See, when we talk about it, they always bring the most difficult case. How can you make a criminal happy? And don't worry about that. Right now, take the easy cases. With our friend also, our exchange is not always happy. Even people whom we love also is not always happy exchange. And how we can make our life just a process of creating happiness every moment? Simply by right attitude. No, but Swami, that person has wrong attitude. Doesn't matter. If they have wrong attitude, still have the freedom to have the right attitude. More difficult, no doubt, but have the freedom. Tadatham karma kaunteya. He Kaunteya Arjuna, therefore, perform action in the spirit of Yajna. But Swami, I keep on doing that and nobody has any appreciation. There's another thing. I'm kind, but they don't care for me. There's no appreciation at all. I do so much. There's no appreciation, no reward, no return of favor. I become disappointed, discouraged, Swami. So the other problem that we have is we become discouraged, become disappointed, become discouraged. They're all regular, day-to-day, real problems. So what does Lord Krishna say about that? There is one word, the second one, Mukta Sangaha. What is Mukta Sangaha? Remaining free from attachment. All the time in Gita this comes, Freedom from attachment. What is this freedom from attachment? Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have the freedom to perform the action. Ma phaleshu. You have no freedom to demand outcome. Lord Krishna says, don't demand any outcome, reward from what you do. That's a binding thing. Don't demand any personal reward. When you perform an action, some result will come anyway. That's just simply called law of cause and effect. But we don't simply want the effect, we want something more. When you do something, when you cook at home and the guests are coming and you cook and the food is there and you feed them, so that's the outcome. But that's not enough for me. Lord Krishna has no objection to that kind of an outcome. But when I expect that people should appreciate Swamiji, I work so hard from morning till evening, I'm doing, and this fellow, I don't even utter a word of appreciation. Meaning that whenever we do something, there is always an unexpressed agenda, hidden agenda in our mind. What is the agenda? To get some visibility, get some praise, some appreciation, some personal reward. The reward is not always in terms of raise, that also be. The reward can be in terms of gross things like profit, etc. Or the reward may be in terms of a personal sense of gratification. Then they should do something to make me happy. I did this to make you happy. In my mind, there is also an expectation that you do something to make me happy. That's the usual thing. When parents raise their children, Swamiji, there is an expectation when children grow up, they'll take care of us. These children, this generation, they don't care. They were all with us as long as they needed us. They used all our credit cards and everything they did, including he bought his first car also from my credit card. And when he goes to restaurants, he lives in New York because he studies in some NYU. And he goes for, with his friends so often to restaurants. And whose credit? My credit card. Because the Indian parents are so generous, they give their credit card with, and they happily use it. And then now he is graduated, now he got a job, and Swami, very nice job, yes, very well paying. Bye bye. Now he has nothing to do with me, Swamiji. You feel bad. And after all, some kind of reward must be there, some appreciation must be there. Lord Krishna says this is a problem. This another cause of creating unhappiness is what? Any kind of an expectation. Any kind of a personal expectation. When you cook the food, expectation is that it should be good. That's okay. That is not that's not the problem. See, giving up attachment to karma phala is not being indifferent to karma phala. Swami, you said that perform your action, don't worry about the outcome. And so I did something, I forgot salt, what can I do? It's their luck. That's not the point. No, that is not allowed. Whatever you do to do properly, thoroughly, in a responsible manner. Karmanyavadikara, you have the responsibility to do in the right manner. As far as outcome is concerned, personal reward is concerned, you leave it to God. Have no expectation. That's a that's a tall order. What all Lord Krishna says, all tall order. I will agree with you. It's tall order because it's quite different from the way we are accustomed to do things. Therefore, it's a tall order. So, other thing that is cause of my unhappiness is this expectation that I have. What is expectation? Some kind of a personal gratification should be there. My ego should be gratified. Very often, we have the expect some gratification. It's another cause of unhappiness. So, mukta sangha. So, this is a big deal. That you do the best without expecting any return for the reward. Now, this is not easy. All our disappointment comes from failed expectations. Swami, expectation is going to be there in life. How can there be life without expectation? In every relationship there is an expectation. One spouse expects from the other, parents expect from children, so the expectation is always there. And pain also is always there. Every relationship also becomes a cause of our unhappiness because of expectation only. So Lord Krishna says, give up the expectation of personal reward. Then you should personally benefit from this, give up that expectation. So what's the reward? He says your doing itself is reward. So Lord Krishna wants to shift the center of motivation from karma phala to karma. The whole universe only wants us to be motivated by the outcome. Lord Krishna says that it's not the outcome that should become the means of motivation, it is your effort should become that. Excellence in effort. That's what you can do and that's what you should do. Outcome, leave it to Ishvara. And whatever comes, accept it as prasada of the Ishvara, prasada buddhi. Mukta sangha. So two things Lord Krishna said in this verse. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra tadartham karma kaunteya. When you perform the action, what is the attitude? Yajna. What is yajna? Self-offering. I would not say self-sacrifice because sacrifice is a very intimidating word, so we don't use it. Usually yajna is meant as sacrificial ritual. That's how they will translate. So this is yajna what? Atma yajna. Sacrificing myself. But it's a word that intimidates us. Therefore, self-offering. Let whole life being a part of self-offering. What will remain with me? Keep on offering. What will remain with me? What can you offer? Well, Swami says, what can you offer? No, ignorance you can offer. That's the only property we have. And ignorance is called all these raga dveshas. Like that we can offer. All our resentment we can offer. Anger we can offer, retaliation we can offer. That's all we have to offer. Let every action become an occasion to offer that garbage. Because that is the cause of my unhappiness. Like in stomach, all kinds of stuff creates stomach pain. What Ayurveda will do is, first thing they will do is to clear your stomach. Because they believe that all disease arises from the stomach problem. So here all these arise from the garbage in the mind. And so how to get rid of it? So purge the garbage. This is the way. Every occasion becomes an opportunity to purge something. That's so mukta sangha, samachara, samyak achara. Perform your action well. Achara means perform. Samachara, samyak achara. Perform. Whatever you do it well. Do it thoroughly. Do it wholeheartedly. So as far as Lord Krishna is concerned, every moment, karma is not a particular, every moment we are doing something, even relating, whatever we do, all vyavahara is all karma. how every moment can become an occasion for creating happiness for us, the extent to which we can bring in these attitudes in our mind. It's all attitude. Prasada buddhi, accepting outcome as prasada, is an attitude. Worship is an attitude. So Lord Krishna teaches here the karma yoga is the yoga of attitude. Attitude towards karma and attitude towards the karma phala or the outcome. Attitude towards the effort and attitude towards outcome. Both of which Lord Krishna stated here. Arjuna, you need that. Everybody may not need that. Maybe Yudhishthira may not need that. The reason why Arjuna is chosen is because of that. He represents the common human being. You, who is unhappy, sad, sorrowful. So we are not Arjuna, we are all Arjuna, because there is sadness and unhappiness and sorrow in our mind. So, how to get rid of this? And we said yesterday that getting rid of sorrow is the same as creating happiness or gaining happiness. We'll finish the rest of the verses tomorrow quickly, because same theme continues in the subsequent verses also. And there was a suggestion also that tomorrow we can have at the end of the talk a short question answer session. So if you have some questions arising, some index card will be there at the counter. You can in clear, legible words, please write them, and we'll try to answer them tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.